Moving on to the fourth fight on the card, we have a heavyweight matchup that I'm looking forward to between heavyweights Justin Tafa, who is 4-2 in his last in his career and is minus 190 favorite, going up against Jared Vanderaa, who's 11-5 and is the plus 160 underdog. What do you see in this matchup?
First, I see everybody watching this going back to your feed and watching the Jordan Vanderaa interview. First and foremost, past guest. The odds astound me. I know it's not crazy, but they're so confident on Justin Tafa. He's a great fighter. 4 KO wins. All of his wins are knockouts. This isn't going to go to the ground. I don't think Tafa's going to shoot for takedowns. I think that he's going to hunt heads, kind of like Mark Hunt. He reminds me of Mark Hunt a little bit. And it's not just because of the tattoos, but like his style is very Mark Hunt-esque. I think they trained together, if I'm not mistaken.
I was just thinking that. I think they trained together.
Yeah, and then Jarrett, he's kind of well-rounded. 7 KO wins, 3 sub wins. I see him actually trying to take this to the ground to exploit Tafa's ground game. We haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen him get taken down as much as people wanted to see. They're both 3-2 in their last 5. I'm sure you're going to go over that. The thing that's glaring is Jarrett's got a 6-inch reach advantage. He's the bigger boy in this fight.
Yep.
He's got a 3-inch leg reach. Tafa throws a lot. He headhunts. He's got a powerful right hand. If he wants to win this fight, he needs to get inside of that 6-inch reach. Do what he does best and throw hands and watch for takedowns and then cut off the cage. As a longer guy myself, if I had my back to the cage, I don't think I could get a full extension of my power. For Jared, use the 6-inch reach advantage. You got it. Use it, right? Mix in leg kicks to keep him at bay. Tafa is going to go forward. So attempt to get a takedown. He's got 3 submission wins, like we said. And then keep the fight in the center of the cage. Shorter cage, like I said, favors Justin Tafa. So I'm going to go out on a limb on this one. This is my wild card pick. I'm going with Jared, mainly because he was on the show. But also, I'm going with a submission victory. I think he's going to get him in a triangle.
Yeah. At first, we got Justin Tafa. He beat Jeremy Drainer by KO. He beat David Tamapu by KO. He lost to Jorgen De Castro by KO. He beat Juan Adams by KO. And then he lost to Carlos Felipe by split decision. Even though he looked pretty good in that matchup up until the last round or so. He's from Australia. He fights out of Australia. He's 27, 200, I believe it's 265 pounds. He's 6 foot, and then he has a 74 reach. Whereas his opponent, Jared, he beat Ricky Michalos by KO. He lost to Renan Ferrer, a PFL, by submission triangle choke. He beat Tony Lopez by decision. He beat Harry Hunsucker by KO on the Dana White Contender Series. And then he lost to Sergey Spivak by KO ground and pound. He's from the United States. He fights out of Hemet, California. He's 29 years old, 265 pounds. He's 6'4". He's a 60 reach. And then he fights out of both Dan Henderson's Athletic Fitness Center and at Team Quest Athletic Center. So he's part of that group, so you got to watch out for that. But this is going to be an interesting matchup. You got Tafa, who's known for his striking and his underrated boxing leg kicks. He likes to lose those leg kicks now where he kicks you low because he's usually thinking about going for that overhand shot that knocks you out. But he started to mix in those nice leg calf kicks in to kind of slow his opponents down. Like I said, he's going to look to knock his opponents out. He has several knockouts in his career. He has to work on closing the distance and staying within range of this matchup because, as you know, Jared has the big reach and height advantage. So if he can get to the inside of him, he's going to have great advantage over Jared because Jared's going to want to keep the reach, knowing that he has the longer arms and height. And then Justin's going to need to attack the body in this matchup, I think. He doesn't do that much, but I think in this matchup, it's going to be a pretty big game plan for him to attack the body, especially with his legs. with the legs, with the body shots. Do a little bit of both. That way, later on, he can fight for the knockout like he likes to. If he can just be patient, the moment will be there. Whereas Vanderaa has a big height and reach advantage. He specializes in jiu-jitsu, and he has an underrated wrestling background. He'll look to keep the distance, shoot for takedowns, and then keep Tafa from getting comfortable and have any range with his boxing. That's where he's going to use his hands to keep him at bay. Just like you see in the UFC a lot. Like you start seeing it with Conor McGregor, where he keeps his hand out to keep the reach because he has that. That's what I think Jared's going to do. The ground level will be Jared's best friend. He can tire him on the ground, keep him from wanting to stand up and get the knockout. And Jared needs to attack Tafa when his lead leg is down low. He has horrible takedown defense, so it might be something where maybe we see Tafa shoot for a takedown. Big things have happened, so he's not known. He's not known for it, but with how bad Jared's defense is with that, maybe he does it. I've been striking between which guy I'm going to choose in this matchup because I still don't know who I have winning this, but I think I'm going to lead towards Tafa in this matchup just because he has the success in the UFC, whereas Jared doesn't yet. He did win the Dana White Contender Series, but Spivak was his first fight with the promotion, and then he lost. And I feel like he doesn't really excel too much at anything in particular. Like he's good at basically a lot of things, but he's not exceptionally good at one thing. Okay. You could point towards jiu-jitsu, but he needs to show it first. Whereas I feel like Tafa has improved a lot over the last couple of fights. Even though he lost, it was still a split decision, but he did more of like a complete fight with that, where he was able to go for his boxing and then his overhand shots. But then he mixed in those kicks now, which could be a big thing in this matchup. If he can kick him, Jared, and then put some hurt on him and then confuse him a little bit, go for the body, and then when Jared's trying to protect his body and whatnot, go for the knockout shot. I'm going to actually go Justin Tafa by first round knockout.
Nice. I hope Jared watches this. I hope he watches this and he never interviews with you again and only interviews with me. But
if you want to be the first.
You're right. Shout out Sam Alvey. Justin Tafa is an exciting fighter. I'm telling you, like, very reminiscent of Mark Hunt for me, but he's undersized height-wise in this division. So this is really a big test for him because once he goes up against, you have Francis, who's well over 6 feet tall. Cyril Gane is over 6 feet tall. John Jones over 6 feet. Alexander Volkov, like Derek Lewis, these guys are big guys. He's 6 feet tall. Not saying that 6 feet isn't a large height, but you have to mix up your game. You can't just be a boxer. In today's MMA and today's heavyweight division, you can't just be a move forward boxer. You have to implement leg kicks. You have to threaten takedowns. We see the best transition and evolution in their game is Derek Lewis, in my mind. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where he's shooting for takedowns against wrestlers. Yeah, we're not going to see that with Justin Tafa. If
there's a fight, if I was Justin Tafa and I had to watch a fight for this, watch the very first Daniel Cormier-Stipe Miocic fight.
Yeah,
because what Daniel Cormier did was he used his wrestling, but then he was a small guy, which he's going to be. And what he did was he timed that uppercut that he used because he's the shorter guy, and he got on the inside like he should, and he hit him with it, and he knocked him out.
Yeah,
that's what he needs to do. He needs to get inside any way possible because once he's inside, he has the advantage.
Yeah, his overhand right is deadly though.
Yes.
And going up against a taller guy, it's a bigger target because you can just throw it with reckless abandon.
Yes.
So it's a close one. I'm a homer with this one because Jared was on the show and he's friend of the show.
I wanted to support him, but I just feel like Tafa. I just have a feeling that he's going to knock him out.
It's okay. You can pick him here and then just put your money on Jared. It's fine.